the class for another 10-15 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Dato Jayamudhiraye Nashtapraye Swabreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Parshadya Satharani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namastubhyam Bhagavati Purushasya Mahatmane Vasudevaya Krishnaya Sattvatam Pade Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanasaya Govindhaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanavaya Nama Pankajamalini Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajankari. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, text 16, chapter 6, canto 7. Vidvan apitam dhanuja kudumbham pushnan swalokaya nakalpathe bhai yaksriya paragya vibhinna bhavaham tam prapadhyeta yatha vimudaham. Vidvan apitam dhanuja kudumbham pushnan swalokaya nakalpathe bhai Yasviya parakya vibhinna bhavaham tam prapadhyeta yatha vimudaham. Can you repeat it? Krishnan Svalokaya Padhevai. Yakshiya parakya vibhinna bhavaham tam prapadhyeta yatha vimudam. Anybody else want to read? 16. 7, 6, 16, Prabhu. Okay. Still people are not able to. You are able to get? 7, 6, 16. 16, Prabhu, yes. Starting with Vidwan. Yeah. Kudumbham Vishnan Kudumbham Vishnan Swarokaya Nakalpatevai Tamaha prapatyet yatha vimudaham. Mataji, is anybody interested? Okay. Okay. Vidvanapitam danuja kutumbam Pushnan Swalokaya na kalpate bhai Yaksviya parakya vibhinna bhava hai Samaprapadyeta yata vimudaham. Okay, next we'll go to the meaning of the sloka. Vidwan, knowing the inconvenience of material existence, especially in household life. Api, although, itam, thus, dhanuja hai, wo sons of demons, kutumbam, the family members or extended family members, like, yeah, like one's community, society, nation, or union of nations. Community, society, nation, or union of nations. Pushnan, providing with all the necessities of life. Salokaya, in understanding himself. Ne, not. Kalpate, capable. Why? Indeed. Yah, he who. Sviya, my own. Parakya, belonging to others. Vivinna, separate. Bhava, having a conception of life. Tamaha, nothing but a darkness. Prapadyetha, enters. Yatha, just as. Vimudaha, a person without education, or one who is like an animal. Translation. Oh, my friends, sons of demons, in this material world, even those who are apparently advanced in education have the propensity to consider, this is mine and that is for others. Thus, they are always engaged in providing the necessities of life to their families in a limited conception of family life, just like uneducated cats and dogs. They are unable to take to spiritual knowledge. Instead, they are bewildered and overcome by ignorance. Purport. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki jai. In human society, there are attempts to educate the human being. But for animal society, there is no such system, nor are animals able to be educated. Therefore, animals and unintelligent men are called vimuda or ignorant, bewildered, whereas educated person is called vidwan. The real vidwan is one who tries to understand his own position within this material world. For example, when Sanatana Goswami submitted to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his first question was, Ke ami kene amaya jare tapatraya. In other words, he wanted to know his constitutional position and why he was suffering from the threefold miseries of material existence. This is the process of education. If one does not ask, who am I? What is the goal of my life? But instead follows the same animal propensities as cats and dogs, what is the use of his education? As discussed in the previous verse, A living being is entrapped by his fruity activities, exactly like a silkworm trapped in its own cocoon. Foolish persons are generally engaged by their fruity activities, karma, because of a strong desire to enjoy this material world. Such attracted persons become involved in society, community, and nation and waste their time not having profited from having obtained human forms. Especially in this age, Kali Yuga, great leaders, politicians, philosophers, and scientists are all engaged in foolish activities, thinking this is mine and this is yours. The scientists invent nuclear weapons and collaborate with the big leaders to protect the interest of their own nation or society. In this verse, however, it is clearly stated that despite their so called advanced knowledge, they actually have the same mentality as cats and dogs. As cats and dogs and other animals, not knowing their true interest in life, become increasingly involved in ignorance. The so called educated person who does not know his own self interest or the true goal of life becomes increasingly involved in materialism. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj advises everyone to follow the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Especially at a certain point, one must give up family life and take to the renounced order of life to cultivate spiritual knowledge and thus become liberated. This is the further discussed in the following verses. Hare Krishna. So it is such a beautiful verse where the importance of taking birth as human beings, human form, is emphasized. We have seen in Bhagavad Gita that there are 84 lakh species of life in this world. Out of these 84 lakh species, how fortunate we are to take birth as human beings. In Tamil, there is, I don't know how many of you understand, there is one poem by Avayar. Aridu, Aridu, Manidharai Pirathal Aridu. So, taking birth as human beings is so rare. After crossing millions of births, we take birth as human being. Why we have taken the form of human being? Because only in this human form of life, we can think of Krishna. We can do devotional service and go back to Godhead from where we came from. So what is the purpose of taking human life? It is simply to live like cats and dogs in this world. That's what Prabhupada is emphasizing in his purport. We are not born here and to live like cats and dogs. They also live in this world. They also take birth like us. They also eat like us. They also sleep like us. They also mate like us. But then, what is so special? Why we have been given the human form? Because only by using the human form, one and only, there is an opportunity for us to get back to where we came from, the Goloka Vrindavana. Therefore, that is why all our acharyas keep on emphasizing that this human love, form of life should not be wasted, but should be used only for rendering devotional service to Krishna. That emphasis is given. That is the crux of the message which is being given in this purport. Therefore, this form of life is to use to cultivate Krishna consciousness, to engage ourselves in devotional service, to have the association of devotees like us, so that at the end of it, we will be able to get rid of all the attachment for the material things. Why we are suffering today in this world? This world, Bhagavan has very clearly told in Bhagavad Gita. What does Bhagavad Gita say? Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita about this world, this material world. Asasvatam, dukkhalayam. Is it not? Bhagavan says it in Bhagavad Gita, dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. But every one of us thinking that as if we are going to live eternally. Even Hiranyakashipu thought like that. He thought that he is going to live forever. There is no death for him. That is how he did parents, Brahman got that boon, and he thought that nobody can end his life. But what happened to him? Such a formidable person. No one, there is no match to him except probably Lord Narayana. Such a person lived like that, thinking that there is no life. I mean, no end to his life. But this world, material world, Bhagavan repeatedly, Acharyas and Bhagavan repeatedly say it is dukkhalayam, full of miseries. Therefore, the threefold miseries nobody can escape. Who can escape from the threefold miseries? Is there any person? Is there any person in the audience who can tell that I am very, very happy in this world? I have no dukkham at all. Can anybody say? No, cannot say. When Bhagavan has defined this world as dukkhalayam, how can we say that I am very, very happy in this world? I have no misery at all. Because nobody can claim that. Everybody is subject to the threefold miseries, nobody can escape. And everybody is subject to the three modes of material nature, which is Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. As long as it is there, misery also will be there, attachment also will be there. Therefore, getting rid of the attachment, it is not that easy for us. But yet, by due sadhana, by engaging ourselves in devotional service, and by association of devotees, and by hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, yes, gradually we can get rid of this attachment. The material attachment we can get rid of. And that is the only route to go back to from where we came from. So all other activities other than devotional service, Prabhupada says it is the only waste. It's only waste, of course. Ultimately what? What for we have born here as a human being? Ultimately to go back now where we came from. Therefore, this human form, every one of us should endeavor to utilize in a proper way so that we have the opportunity to engage ourselves in the devotional service to Krishna. We have the opportunity to read and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. And we have the opportunity to have the association of all the devotees to go back to Vrindavana. That is the substance of this sloka which I wanted to share. With this, I would like to go to Damodar Leela, the pastimes of Krishna. As all of you know, this Canto 10 is so nectarian. The whole Bhagavatam, of course, is only nectar, but more so Canto 10. Because it talks full and full about the pastimes of Lord Krishna, the glories of Krishna, the power of Krishna, the compassion of Krishna. Full and full, the whole Canto 10 talks about that. That is why the Canto 10 is so special in Srimad Bhagavatam. Our Prabhupada always advises, don't come to Canto 10 without reading from 1. There is a reason for it, because we will not be able to comprehend a few things in Canto 10 unless we complete coming from Canto 1. So Bhagavan has enacted so many pastimes in Canto 10, we are seeing now. And Damodar Leela and listening to Damodar Leela and speaking about the Damodar Leela more so in this Kartik month is so auspicious. It is by Krishna's mercy that we get the opportunity to today to talk about and listen to the Damodar Leela. One day, Yashoda Mai was finding that all other her servants were very busy in the house. She thought of churning the cream to take the butter, to separate the butter and buttermilk. In villages, people might have seen the morning, post-morning activity for the villages will be to clean the cattle shed. They clean the cows, milking the cows, boil the milk, and converting that milk into curd by churning the cream and selling the butter, milk. So those days, what is the source of income for villagers? Only these cow, selling the cow products, and of course some agricultural activities like raising paddy and everything. There is a source of income those days. So the morning, the first activity will be taking care of the cows, bullocks, buffaloes, whatever. Every house will have, some hundreds of years back, every house will have a cow or buffalo, bullock, everything will be there. So like that, Yashodama was churning. The cream was in a pot, she was churning like that. While churning, what Yashoda will do, she has composed many songs about the various pastimes of Krishna. At the time Damodar Leela was enacted, Krishna was only just 2 years and 2 months old child. But by the time Bhagavan has done so many great things, extraordinary things, what he has done? The great demon Putana was killed by him. Another great demon Sakatasura was killed by him. Another demon Trinavatra was killed by him. Like that, Bhagavan has done so many pastimes. So, Yashoda has composed so many songs and she will be singing, thinking about all the various glorious activities of Krishna and churning the curd, the cream. At the time, Krishna wakes up. In the early morning, he wakes up. Once a child wakes up, you know well what it will ask for. It will immediately, it will be very hungry. It has to be fed immediately. So Krishna directly comes to Yashoda, where he was churning the cream. He comes there. And with his lotus hand, he stopped the churning rod. Like that he was holding. And prevents Yashoda from churning. What does it mean? What are you doing now without taking care of me first? When I am here, your first priority is to attend me, not churning. That's what Bhagavan conveys. Yashoda, being a mother, she understood what he needs. She knows well that he is hungry. So she stops churning with a great love and affection. He takes Krishna and keeps him on her lap. And Krishna was fed by Mother Yashoda. So Krishna was drinking milk from her mother Yashoda, like that. But Yashoda realizes that she has kept milk in the oven. In a milk vessel, she has poured milk and it was boiling. It was in the oven. She knows that in the next few seconds it will boil down. Everything will spill. She knows. So in her anxiety to save the milk from spilling over, she took Krishna from his lap and put him down and rushed to the kitchen. And took the vessel containing full of milk and kept it on the floor next to the oven. Krishna was very hungry. No, the child morning is always hungry. It is only half full. His stomach was only half full. So he became very angry. Krishna became very angry. Any child for that matter, when it is eating, if you snatch it, what will happen? The child become very angry, you know. Either Krishna became very angry. How can my mother not feed me fully and suddenly dropped me on the floor and rushed to the kitchen. He became very angry, Krishna. What he did? He looked and found one stone was there. He took the stone. With anger, he smashed the pot. What happened? Those days only pot, not like our vessels like indalium or aluminium or Everstone vessels were not there. Only pot those days. The only pot will be used for churning. For milk, curd, buttermilk, everything, only pot was used hundreds of years back. So the pot was broken. The entire place becomes so messy. All the buttermilk, the mixture of buttermilk, curd and butter, all spill on the floor. It is not fully, it is completed. She has not fully completed. So this mixture got spilled on the floor, become so messy. Whatever butter available from that pot, Krishna took it in his hand and rushed to another room. Now Yashoda, she came and finds that Krishna is not there. Not only there, to her utter shock, she finds that the entire place is so messy. All the butter, all the buttermilk, everything is wasted and spilled on the floor. She was agitated, annoyed. She understood that it is the handwork of Krishna. Who would have done it? She also understood that because while feeding in between, she dropped Krishna on the floor, went to the kitchen. Krishna has become angry and therefore he smashed this pot and made all the buttermilk and butter to spill on the floor. She also understood that. But still, because so much buttermilk and butter was wasted, she got annoyed. And she also sees the footsteps of Krishna. While the floor is messy with so much of buttermilk, and Krishna had to walk across that. So everywhere Krishna's footsteps could be seen because it is smeared with that buttermilk, So following the footsteps of Krishna, she went to the room in which Krishna was sitting. Krishna was happily eating that butter which he had brought. Not only he ate, he also was feeding all the monkeys around him. Daily he used to give butter to the monkeys also. So when Krishna comes with butter, all the monkeys also will come. Knowing well, Krishna will give a part of the monkey butter to them. So happily, Krishna was feeding the monkeys, he was also eating. But at the same time, Krishna was a very naughty boy. He knows that he has done a mistake by breaking the pot. He knows that his mother will get annoyed and he will come and catch you. He knows that. So he was having that fear. So he is hearing, he is seeing here and there, he is seeing whether mother is coming to catch him, he is seeing. Mother Yashoda silently came from behind. Krishna was sitting on a mortar, wooden mortar, and eating. But before catching, Krishna realized, oh, mother is very close by. He jumped from the mortar and started running away to escape from her. Yashoda, of course, started chasing. She wanted to catch him and teach him a lesson. Because already she's getting a lot of complaints from other gopis that your son has come and steal the butter. Your son came and steal. He broke the butter pot. He drank all the curd which I had kept. So many complaints. He urinated in one place in Gopi's house. All the complaints she has. Therefore, today I will teach him a lesson, she thought, and started chasing. But Krishna was very, very swift in running. Who can match the speed of Bhagavan? He ran very fast. A small child also, ran very fast. Yashoda was unable to match with the speed at which Krishna was running. Yashoda also was little well-built. She is not a lean woman, little well-built. So chasing Krishna was not that easy for her. Still, she chased him. So, but she's perspiring heavily. Heavy perspiration. All the flowers that she had on her hair were falling. She was breathing heavily. Bhagavan, so merciful, Krishna is so merciful. He saw that mother is perspiring. She is breathing heavily. So he thought, okay, let us get caught by her. Let us not disturb my mother beyond that point. So Bhagavan slowed down and Yashoda was able to catch him. Bhagavatam says, who can catch Krishna? So beautiful slokas. Anybody can catch Krishna? Even the great sages, great jnanis and rishis, performing so much of penance for hundreds and thousands of years, they could not catch Krishna. The Lord could not be caught by the rishis. He could not be caught by these sages. The Lord is always whose lotus feet is always meditated upon by Lord Shiva. He could not understand. The Lord, with whose mercy only Lord Brahma was able to create the entire universe. The Lord, who is transcendental to all the three modes of material nature. The Lord, for whom there is no one equivalent to or above him. The Lord, whom even Yamadharma, Dharmaraja, Yama, he is fearful. The Lord, who comes to the aid of Gajendra when he was in distress. The Lord, who comes and saved the modesty of Draupadi in the royal assembly when she was disrobed by the Kauravas. The Lord, such a Lord was caught by Yashoda, his mother. Why? Because of the extraordinary love, extraordinary affection Yashoda has for her son. That is why Bhagavan allowed himself to be caught. Otherwise, who can catch? I told you so many great personalities they could not catch. They could not realize, they could not understand Krishna. But such a supreme personality was able to be caught by his mother because of the extraordinary love and extraordinary affection that was so transcendental. The affection and love of gopis and Yashoda, it is beyond our understanding. Therefore, Bhagavan allowed himself to be caught. And when Yashoda caught Krishna and held his hands, she found he was trembling with fear. Krishna was really trembling with fear. Is it real? Krishna will tremble. He acted as if he is trembling. His eyes were full of tears. Tears flowed from his eyes. Yashoda had applied the black ointment around the lotus eyes of Krishna. All this black ointment got smeared all over the face of Krishna. So when she found that Krishna was in deep fear, with a stick in her hand, her heart, being a mother, the two, what kind of son he has, her heart melted. He threw the stick. She threw the stick and said, I am going to now bind you to this martyr. You are doing so many naughty activities. So many complaints I am receiving about you. I am going to put a stop today. When she caught Krishna, Krishna agreed, yes, I am the offender. I only did that. He agreed. No doubt. He did not say that I did not do. He agreed. So Bhagavatam says, why he agreed? Because of the stick in her hand. Bhagavan says that, Bhagavatam says that he was afraid of the stick. The Lord who is feared even by Yamadharmaraja. Yamadharmaraja, once he said in Ajamila Charitra, we have seen don't go near the devotees of Lord Krishna. Leave alone Lord Krishna. Lord's devotees, you don't go there. Such a fear he has for Lord's devotees. So, the great personality Yamadharma Raja, whom the entire world is afraid of, Mrityu, Mrityubhaya, who else? Who is a person who doesn't have the Mrityubhaya in this world? Such a personality is fearful of Krishna. But Krishna is afraid of his mother and the gopis. That is the wonderful Leela enacted by Krishna in this Damodar Leela. So Krishna shows his fear. So who can bind Krishna? Who can control Krishna? Anybody can? Nobody can. It is only the devotees can do that. Only the devotees of Krishna can bind him. Only the devotees of Krishna can control him. All the devotees are worshipping Krishna to seek his mercy. But Krishna also sometimes wants that he should be controlled by someone. Who could be that someone? Only the devotees. That someone could be only devotees. No other person can. Only devotees can control Krishna. But more than the devotees, Prabhupada in the purport says that it is the love and affection of the devotees which controls Krishna, not the devotee per se. The love and affection of a devotee, it binds Krishna, it controls the Krishna. Actually, there is a beautiful sloka in chapter 9. Canto 9, chapter 4, sloka number 63. Where Bhagavan says, it is in Ambarish Maharaj Charitra, Aham Bhakta Paradino hi asvatantra iva dvija sadhibihi grasta hridayo bhaktair bhakta janapriya. What does it mean? When Durvasa Rishi tried to harm Ambarish Maharaj for a very flimsy reason, of course, that we'll see on another occasion. He created a demon to harm Ambarish Maharaj. But the Sudarshan Chakra, which Bhagavan has given to Ambarish Maharaj, which was sitting in the throne, it killed the demon instantly and started chasing Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa Muni, he was not able to bear the extraordinary heat being generated from that Sudarshan Chakra. He went to Indra, he went to Brahma, he went to Lord Shiva. Everybody said, it is beyond our power to control Sudarshan Chakra. You go to the owner of Sudarshan Chakra. Who is their owner? Bhagavan Sriman Narayan. You go there, he alone can save you from this Sudarshan Chakra. So he went to Sudarshan Bhagavan Narayan. At the time Bhagavan said this sloka, he says, Oh my dear Durvasa, oh Brahmana, I myself is under the control of my devotee. Indeed, I have no independence at all. Therefore, when I am not under the control, when I am under the control of the devotee, how can I control the Sudarshan Chakra? You better go to Ambarish himself. That is how a devotee is being glorified by the Lord. The glorification of Lord in Canto 9, chapter 4 and 5 are quite extraordinary. The devotees, about the devotees, one if he wants to know, one should read Canto 9, chapter 4 and 5, how glorifies Bhagavan about the devotees. Nowhere such a glorification in Bhagavatam we can find like chapter 4 of Canto 9. Such a glorification Bhagavan gives. Therefore, why? Because of the love, because of the affection, because of the extraordinary intimacy that devotee shows to the Lord, Bhagavan allows himself to bound, allows himself to control by the devotee. That is what we should know. Therefore, the realization here is that if you want to bind Krishna, if you want to control Krishna, it is not possible at all except through devotional service only to Krishna. There is no other means to realize Krishna, to understand Krishna, to bind Krishna. That is what Bhagavan also says. Parikshit Maharaj was astonished. By seeing all this, he was astonished. How come such a supreme personality can be caught, can be bound by an ordinary woman born in a Yadu dynasty, Yadava family? How is it possible? What great fortune or pious this Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda have done in their past lives that they were so fortunate to have Krishna as their son. He was astonished and asking the question. This question he asks. Sukadeva Goswami is asking this question. What great pious they did in their past life that they deserved to have Krishna as their son. That question he is asking. In this context, I would like to sing a beautiful Tamil song. I'm sorry, some of you may not understand. I will tell you, I will translate it to English later. People who knows Tamil will appreciate it. It's a beautiful song composed by Papanasam Sivan. Probably some of the Matajis who are well versed with the Carnatic music definitely should have known. I would like to sing few stanzas from that song. The song goes like that. என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, தாயே யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை, ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை, ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை, கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி தாளாட்ட, கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி தாளாட்ட, கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி தாளாட்ட, என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொல்ல, பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொல்ல, பிரம்மனும் இந்திரனும் மனதில் பொறாமை கொல்ல, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்பொத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்பொத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை, உரலில் கட்டி வாய்ப்பொத்தி கெஞ்ச வைத்தாய் கண்ணனை, தாயே என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, யசோதா என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, சனகாதியர் தவயோகம் செய்து, சனகாதியர் தவயோகம் செய்து, சனகாதியர் தவயோகம் செய்து, வருந்தை சாதித்ததை எளிதில் பெற, புண்ணியமாதே என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, வருந்தி சாதித்ததை எளிதில் பெற, புண்ணியமாதே நீ என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, யசோதா நீ என்ன தவம் செய்தனை, யசோதா நீ என்ன தவம் செய்தனை. such a wonderful song in Tamil. I'd like to, for benefit of those who could not understand, translate it in English. The song says, how fortunate Yashoda is. To call Yashoda as Amma by Bhagavan, how fortunate she is. Bhagavan is calling Amma. Amma endreika. Bhagavan calls Amma. How fortunate she is to be called by Krishna as Amma. In the second para, Ireju Bhuvanangal Padaithavanai. Bhagavan, all the 14 loka created by Krishna. Is it? Such a Bhagavan, she had got the opportunity to raise in her hands, feed from her breast, and make him to sleep. How fortunate Mother Yashoda you are. In the third para, both Brahma and Indra, they are so jealous. We don't get that opportunity. Like Yashoda got. Yashoda was able to bind him the mortar. She made him to bend. She made him she made Krishna to be so fearful. But we never got that opportunity. How fortunate this Yashoda is. And in the final para, the song says, Sanakadiyas and Sanat Kumaras and others, so many sages, they do so much penance. But they could not realize Krishna. They could not understand Krishna. They have done so much. But this Yashoda, she knows nothing. Such Yashoda, she got the opportunity. She realized Krishna. She understood Krishna. She was able to carry him, feed him, make him sleep. How wonderful it is. How fortunate she is. That is what this song is about. So, Parishit Maharaj, that is why he is so astonished and asking Sukadeva Goswami, how is it possible they got such an opportunity? So, Sukadeva Goswami says, my dear Parishit, this Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, in their previous birth, they were Drona and Dara. Not the Drona whom we know in Mahabharata. No, not the Drona. He is one of the Ashtavasus, Drona. This Ashtavasu, Drona, and his wife Dara, they prayed to Brahma. And when they prayed to him, we should be allowed to take birth in this earth. Because Bhagavan Sri Krishna is going to come to this earth. Lord Narayana, he takes birth as Krishna. Before that, we want to take birth in the earth and become their father and mother. Brahma said, Dadastu, so be it. Like that, this Drona and Dara, they came to this earth and took birth as Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. In the purport to the Sloka, Prabhupada says, how is that? Krishna was born to Vasudeva and Devaki. Devaki, the irony is that though Bhagavan was born to Devaki, he was not fed from Devaki's breast even one time. She didn't get that opportunity. Bhagavan was though born to her. She didn't get that opportunity because on the instruction of Bhagavan, immediately Krishna was shifted from the place to Vrindavana where Yashoda had given birth to Yogamaya. Bhagavan had advised Vasudeva to carry him to the Gokulam Vrindavana and leave it at the bedside of Yashoda and take the Yogamaya and bring it back here to jail. Like that. So she didn't get the opportunity, but Yashoda got that opportunity. So he is asking a very pointed question. How that Devaki did not get that opportunity, but Yashoda got the opportunity. How? For that, in the purport, Prabhupada clarifies. Yashoda got that opportunity because there are two types of devotees in the spiritual world. One is called Nitya Siddha, another is called Sadhana Siddha. Who is Nitya Siddha? Nitya Siddha is none other than those who are not ordinary living entities like us, but they came from the personal body of Krishna himself. Their expansion of Krishna is Nitya Siddha. Whereas Sadhana Siddhas are people like us, who devotional service, who chant, who do puja, who associate with the devotees, who follow all the completely regulative principles, and that they try to elevate themselves. They are called Sadhana Siddhas. Therefore, between Sadhana Siddha and Nitya Siddha, who will be given the first priority? Naturally, Nitya Siddha, because their expansion of Krishna himself. That is why this Nandagopa as well as Yashoda, being Nitya Siddha, they are got the opportunity to witness the whole pastimes of Krishna during his childhood. Devaki and Vasudeva, they had not that opportunity. Only these two people, Nandagopa and Yashoda, got that opportunity because they were Nitya Siddhas, not Sadhana Siddhas. Therefore, that's what Prabhupada clarifies why they got the opportunity which Devaki could not get. Devaki, no doubt. Vasudeva, Devaki, they are also exalted people. Actually, as you may know, Sutapa and Prashni, they did penance for thousands of years to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu appeared before them what they want. They want that you must come in this world as our son. 3 times they are asking. That's why Bhagavan is coming 3 times, they take birth to them. First as this Vishnu and Sutapa, Bhagavan is born as Prishni Garban, his name. In the second, Kashyapa and Aditi. To them, Vamanadev, Bhagavan comes as Vamanadev. And in the third, in the Dwapara Yuga, for Vasudeva and Devaki, Bhagavan appears as Krishna, though they had not that fortunate enough to witness all the past tense enacted by Lord during his childhood. That's what the answer Sukadeva Goswami is giving. Therefore, they could not witness all these things, whereas Nandagopa and Yashoda got the opportunity to see, enjoy all the pastimes of the Lord during the childhood. Now, after chastising Krishna, Yashoda said, I am going to now bind you to this mortar so that you will not do any naughty activities. So she brought the mortar as well as one piece of rope. So she tied Krishna. But the width, the length of the width fell short by the distance of 2 fingers. It fell short. So she thought, okay, the rope which I brought is not enough, it's not sufficient. So she went inside. So brought another rope. So she tied it. So the second rope she tied with the first one. And now again she tried to bind Krishna. By Krishna's Leela, again it fell short by another, the distance of again the width of 2 fingers. She was wondering. Then he went inside. She took it. Another rope. Again attached it to the second one. Oh, now the rope is big one. Now I will be able to bind Krishna. She could not do. Third rope also same thing, same fate. Again it fell short by a distance of 2 width. Like that, she goes inside, brings a rope. She goes inside, again and brings another rope. So the entire rope inside the house was exhausted. So coming to know of this Leela, all the friends of Yashoda, all senior of gopis and gopas, they assembled. They were all relishing this fun, this Leela of Krishna. They were all enjoying, all smiling, laughing. Yashoda also, in spite of her hard labor, she was also enjoying and she was also smiling and laughing. So Krishna wants to express that. Unless I agree, you cannot tie me. Who can tie Krishna? So unless I desire to be bound by you, otherwise you cannot bind me. That message he wants to give to his mother Krishna, Yashoda, and her friends. So, all the efforts of Mother Yashoda fell in vain. She was not able to do. She was so fatigued. She was so exhausted. And all the gopis advised, okay, Yashoda, it is not possible to tie your son, bind your son. Better you give it up. But Krishna, seeing the labor, the pain, the agony of Yashoda, the hard labor, she was perspiring heavily. She was fully exhausted. Seeing this mother in such a condition, Bhagavan became so merciful. Karuna Murti, Bhagavan Krishna is Karuna Murti. So he so became merciful. Okay, by the help of Yogamaya power, he allowed himself to be bound to the mortar. Otherwise, who can bind Krishna like that? Only unless Krishna agrees. So only two devotees will be able to do that, because Yashoda was such a great affection, deep love for Krishna. Therefore, because of such a devotional mood, Bhagavan allowed himself to be bound by Krishna to the wooden mortar. After that, she went inside to take care of all the daily household chores, because this whole Leela took so much of her time. He has so many activities inside the house. So she went. So Bhagavan is bound in the wooden mortar and standing. The whole universe, including the exalted personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, they are all under the control of Krishna. But here he is saying Krishna is under the control of his mother Yashoda and get bound in the wooden mortar. That is the power of devotion. Now, Krishna is a very naughty boy, He was looking here and there, what to do? He has been bound. So he is looking here and there, what next we can do, he is seeing. At the time, at the backside of his house, he found 2 Yamalarjuna trees were standing. So he started moving along with his mortar towards that Yamalarjuna trees. That is a different story. Chapter 10, Canto 10. What are those Yamalarjuna trees? The Yamalarjuna trees is none other than the sons of the great demigod Kuvera. Kuvera had 2 sons, Nalakuvara and Manigriva. He had 2 sons. Being born in an aristocratic family, that took a very, very rich person. Kuvera, is a treasurer. The entire wealth of the demigods is with him. He is a treasurer. So, because being born to a very rich person, very aristocratic family, they were so haughty, they were so proud, they didn't care for anybody. That was their mood. That you might have seen in many rich people's houses, some sons will be like that. So proud, non-caring. What they did, they used to drink liquor called Varuni and enjoy life with many girls of the demigods. And on top it off, they had also the opportunity of associating with Lord Shiva. So because of that, they had the privilege to roam around in the garden adjacent to the Kailash, where Lord Shiva was residing with his wife, Goddess Parvati. That garden was such a beautiful garden. So many flower-bearing, fruit-bearing trees, that garden. They were there. Nobody had any access. These 2 sons were allowed to roam around. So they went roam around Mandakini. It is on the banks of Mandakini river. Mandakini river is, of course, it is a part of Ganges. It finally ends up in Alaknanda. Alaknanda is a tributary for Ganges. So in a way, Mandakini also Ganges, part of Ganges. Such a sacred river. So one day, this Nalakuvara and Manigriva entered the Mandakini river along with few girls of the demigods. They were all enjoying in the river. Naked, all were naked, no cloth on their bodies. They were enjoying. It is a very, very great offense. Taking bath in a holy river, sacred river, like Ganges or Kaveri, without any cloth in our body. The greatest offense you would have commit to the rivers, because they are all very sacred rivers. Ganges, the two, touching the Bhagavan's lotus feet, is coming there, taking bath without cloth. Very, very great offense. One will incur very great sins for that. Anyhow, these people under the influence of liquor, they didn't know what they are doing, They were enjoying like that. At the time, Narada Rishi, they came that side. Rishis are also always very, very merciful. You all know, several stories you have seen in Bhagavatam. They are so merciful. Narada Rishi, he knows that these are the sons of Kuvera, very aristocratic family, very good family, because Kuvera was a great devotee of Lord Narayana. Oh, such a family, these two boys, how they have fallen down. Therefore, he decided they should be retrieved from such a precarious life in this world, and they should be made devotees of the Lord. He decided like that. Therefore, he knows very well, being born to rich people, aristocratic family, people, the sons go astray, there is no wonder. But at the same time, they are not ordinary sons of Kuvera. So therefore, they should be saved from this precarious condition. So, keeping that in mind, Narada Rishi is going to curse them now. Rishi's curse always will be good only. There are so many wonderful slokas in chapter 8, starting from sloka 8 to 18. Narada Muni, he says, how a rich man will behave with respect to learned sadhus, how a poor man will behave. Everything is captured in those slokas 8 to 18. There are wonderful slokas. When you find time, you can please read them, these slokas, of which I wanted to quote only one sloka I wanted to quote. It is a beautiful sloka. Sri Narada Vacha, it is a text 8, chapter 10 of Canto 10. Sri Narada Vacha, Nahi Anyo Jusato Josyan, Buddhi Brahmso Rajo Guna hai, Srimadad Abhijayadir, Yatra Stri Duyatam Asava hai. The meaning of this sloka, Narada Muni said, among all the attractions of material enjoyment, what is the most attractive thing to us? Material enjoyment, towards which we are attracted. Narada says, the attraction of riches, wealth, it bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful bodily features, more than taking birth in an aristocratic family, and more than being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that where will such a person will engage his wealth? Such a person will engage his wealth only in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. Several thousands of years back, Narada Muni has said, what will be the situation of an uneducated person, but at the same time wealth is in his hand? What that person will do? The person will only indulge in all such nefarious activities, pulling him down and get into the vicious cycle of birth and death, and he will never come out of that. Such a situation should not happen to the sons of a great demigod Kuvera. Narada thought. Therefore, Narada cursed them. On seeing Narada, the girls who were taking baths, swimming, enjoying with these two sons, immediately got up from the river, fearing he will curse them, and covered themselves with the cloth. Their modesty they covered. But these Nalakuvara and Manigriva, they did not do. They didn't even care. Rather, they were not in a position to care because they were completely under the influence of liquor, fully intoxicated. How they can care? Whether Narada comes or even Lord Narayana comes, they will not be able to recognize in that condition. Therefore, they didn't care. So Narada Rishi cursed them. You, both of you, will become trees. Why Narada Muni did not choose anything else? Trees. Because trees also always naked. It doesn't have any interest, And tree also has no consciousness. So in spite of my being present here, you don't have any consciousness to recognize me. Therefore, you will be like two trees. But at the same time, Narada was so merciful. He said he gives two benedictions to them. Even though you are going to be trees from now, I give you two benedictions. So that, number one, he says, you will be able to remember all your past activities, including all your sinful activities. And number two, 100 years by Deva Varsha, by demigods years, you will get the opportunity to come face to face with Lord Krishna when he comes to the earth. And Bhagavan will relieve you from this sin. So 100 Deva Varsha. 100 Deva Varsha means 365 days of first is one day for Devas. Therefore, 365 into 365, it will come to 1,33,225 years into 100. Which means, till then, you stand there as trees. That is the punishment he gave. But at the same, he gave a way out also how he come out of that curse. So, these two trees are at the backside of the house of this Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, standing as Yamalarjuna trees. So, Bhagavan, he thought to himself, even though I have nothing to do with these two sons of Kuvera, because they are not devotees, even though I have nothing to do, but because my very dear devotee Narada has told that they will come to face with me, I should give darshan to them and relieve them from this sin. From the sin, as standing as a tree. Bhagavan thought like that. Therefore, with the wooden mortar to which he was bound, he was moving towards that tree, two trees. So now the mortar, it became like this. So with that, between these two trees are standing like that, the wooden mortar was dragged by Krishna in between these two trees. With full force, Bhagavan dragged that wooden mortar and both the trees crashed and fell on the earth. Is it possible? Is it possible such a big trees? One can easily fell like that. But what is the power of the two trees before Bhagavan's potency? It's nothing, Therefore, there is no wonder. Using the wooden mortar, how he was able to fell the trees. What is so wonderful about that? Bhagavan's potency is beyond our imagination. So both the trees, so huge trees with their trunks, branches and flowers, they crashed on the earth. And from that, two great personalities, these Kuvera sons, they came out in a dazzling form. With the folded hands, they came to Lord. They were able to, because Narada has given them the power to remember everything. So they know that it is none other than Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. They know very well. Therefore, with the folded hands, they came and prostrated at the lotus feet of the Lord. They said, my dear Lord, we have committed a very great offense at your lotus feet of your great devotee Narada because of our ignorance. Kindly forgive us for the offense that we committed to Narada. We never realized your presence, your omnipotency, your power, your greatness. We were never aware of. Kindly forgive us for that. From we now know that you are the supreme controller of this universe. You are the supreme personality of God. We know that now. We know your power. We now realize who you are. Please forgive us and accept our prayers and pranams. Like that, they prayed to Krishna and seeking his forgiveness. Lord Krishna said, he said, yes, I know your past, how you were, I know. But my dear devotee, Narada has assured that you will get an opportunity to come face to face with me. That is why I give you the darshan. That is why I have relieved you from this sin by crashing these two trees by using the wooden mortar. That's what Bhagavan said. So they said, both the sons said, my dear Lord, from today, our eyes will be used only to see your form. Our ears will be used to only your glories. Our head will be used only to bow down before everything in this universe, because everything in the universe is you, your form. Our head will be used only to bow down before them. All our senses will be used only in engaging ourselves in the devotional service. Like that they prayed. Bhagavan blessed them abundantly and said, yes, from today onwards, you will always keep my lotus feet in your mind. You will always be engaged in devotional service unto my lotus feet. And you will never fall down from your celestial place anymore. Like that, Bhagavan blessed them. Because Bhagavan was bound to the wooden mortar with a rope, Krishna from the day is called Damodara. Dam means rope. Udaram means the belly portion. That is why Bhagavan is called Damodara. And these Nalakora and Maningriva, they offered a fantastic and beautiful song. They say it is Sloka number 36 of chapter 10. Nama Parama Kalyanam, Nama Parama Mangalam, Vasudevaya Santayam, Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Hey Krishna, Yadu Adipate, for such personality, supreme personality, we offer our obeisances. They circumambulated Krishna 3 times, once again prostrated at the lotus feet and sought permission from Krishna to leave their abode. Thus, after circumambulating and prostrating Krishna, they left to their abode, celestial abode. And after hearing the huge noise, the trees fell in Nandagoppa, Yashoda, all of the villagers, they rushed to see that Krishna is in between, tied to the wooden mortar, the trees have fallen. There is no rain, there is no cyclone, there is no storm. How is it possible that massive trees could suddenly have fallen like that? They were wondering, all the villagers. But Nandagop Maharaj knows. He knows the potency of Krishna very well. It is another pastime of the Krishna. Nandagop Maharaj understood. But the villagers could not believe how such mighty trees could have been fallen like that. They were wondering. So they were all praising the glories of Krishna and the greatness of Krishna. That is how this Damodar Lila was enacted. With Damodar Lila, hearing it on an auspicious Kartik month is so beneficial to us. It not only purifies our heart, listening to the Damodar Lila not only purifies our heart, but it also enhances our devotion to Lord Krishna. That is the speciality of Damodar Krishna. I am so fortunate to share my thoughts about Damodar Lila to you. Probably I would have committed many errors in that. Kindly forgive me for whatever errors or mistakes or offenses I would have committed while narrating this pastime of the Lord. But no doubt about that this hearing this narration is definitely you invoke the mercy of Krishna and will definitely enhance your devotion to Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I request Varakshana Prabhu. Varakshana Prabhu is there? Prabhu is there? Prabhu? God. Prabhu said I will join. Okay. Hare Krishna. And probably devotees may share their realization, if any, and whatever little I know, if there is any doubt, I try to clarify if I know. If I cannot clarify, or Jambavan Prabhu is there, I will seek Prabhu to clarify. Hare Krishna. Prabhus may share your realization. Hare Krishna. No question.